with today, basically, just want to have a quick talk about my day. You know, haven't like had anything crazy happen. Been on zero sales for maybe 2 days. But to be fair, like I'm only really doing one product at the moment, like for myself, and then um, I'm a creator for another other product that I'm doing for someone else. And yeah, like trying to look for new products, but I don't know, my burner's kind of dry. Like I don't know, um, I just keep seeing like artworks, like art products, and kind of like sick of seeing these art products. Um, like honestly, these art products, I feel like there's just so like many of them, and like they all suck, to be honest. Like they're annoying, like the film, you can't really, be creative with it because most of them are just showcasing products. So they kind of suck in terms of like trying to make videos. And because there's been so many of it, like there's most of the ideas are basically saturated by now. So they're kind of, I feel like, difficult to go viral. But you'd be lucky to if you do go viral. But yeah, I don't know. Like my burner is just full of that stuff, and I'm not seeing. Like, I do see some things new, but nothing that's really like that one big product. So it's kind of rough. Like, but you just gotta keep going. I'm still trying to do 2 hours a day of product research, but so far I've probably only been doing like 1.5 or something like that. Um, but I don't know. Over the past week, like I've just been a bit kind of unmotivated and a bit down. But you know, yesterday after listening to the podcast by Jim Fortin, um, just about with how life, reflects what you put out to it. And so I've realized that, I've been kind of looking at especially like when I start out my days in the mornings, I kind of started out kind of very negatively. Like, I wake up and I already feel tired and I'm just like not ready to start my day. But, even though I have to make myself go out and go to work, um, the way I started with the mentality isn't really the best. And so this morning I woke up and I had a completely different mentality going into it, which is I told myself, right, repetitively that today's going to be a great day, today's going to be a good day. And I did like 5-star jumps before I left the house. And so, not going to lie, this kind of brought my energy a bit up and I felt a little bit more excited to start off my day, whereas usually I would just leave and just feel really tired and want to sleep. Like, I used to, like, probably for the past week or maybe even month, I would leave the house and already be like ready to come home. Like, I'm looking forward to the time when I come home. So yeah, like, I don't know. Today had a different mentality, and to be honest, it feels so much better, right? Changing the way I kind of start off my day, which is trying to just be happier and have a better outlook on things. And so, yeah, like podcast by Jim Forden, if you guys haven't listened to it yet, I 110% recommend it, especially listening to like the first 9 episodes of it at the very beginning. It's in some ways I feel like for me it's kind of life changing. Like I've kind of looked at life a little differently for the past day, and hopefully for the foreseeable future, like things can start getting better. Like I need to have a more positive outlook on things, even though I already think I do have a positive outlook on a lot of things in life. Like I'm not the type of person that's always like talking down about things and always trying to be negative. Like I'm never like that. But then there's like another level of like positivity, like thinking about fears and how, admitting that I have like all these fears and all these problems that I don't want to face, but then realizing it in myself that I need to face these fears that I have, right? In terms of like money, right? Like how I see money, and how I've just grew up with money and the way I picture it, all these things about myself that I never really realized. I realized, but I didn't really look at it. And so right now I'm trying to just have a better look at like how a lot of the things that I'm fearful of, and really like trying to admit to myself that I fear it, and how I'm going to kind of look at it better, in terms of, so that the universe can reflect, the same energy back to me. I need to reflect the same energy back to what I want. So yeah, like one of the big things is, I think for me, I always felt like it was okay to think about how, even though I'm not making any money, but as long as I'm learning, I'll be happy. And this was my constant thing with dropshipping, was that my outlook on it was, if I'm learning something every day about it, right, I'm having some growth within myself. And yeah, that is a good thing. Absolutely, like 110%. But then that was like, it became like my entire focus. Like my entire focus became, as long as I'm learning something, even though I'm not making any money, it's okay. And I think this is one of the biggest problems, is that, well, at least according to Jim Forden, that I think is probably one of the biggest problems I've had, in terms of the way I had an outlook on things, right? Like I kept looking at, just as long as I learn, it's okay, I don't need to make money. And that's actually not a good mindset you want to have, because you want to actually want it, but then also think positively about it, how you can actually use it, like how you can use dropshipping to make money, to use it as a tool for you to generate more income, and not use it as something because you're desperate for it, right? But something that you can use it as a tool, and like having that outlook on money will basically send more money from the universe coming to you. Essentially, that's what he's saying, with Jim Forden, right? And I know it sounds a little crazy about how, if you're outputting this energy is going to bring it back to you. And it sounds like kind of voodoo kind of stuff. But I don't know, it's just something in me where I genuinely believe in energy. And so this kind of speaks to me. And, for all the guys out there who, need kind of scientific evidence for a lot of things. And, for me, I also need a lot of scientific evidence to believe something. But in Jim Forden's podcast, he does talk about a lot of like scientific experiments and stuff that prove that energy is real, and that the energy you output is the energy that comes back to you. But yeah, for those who actually do already kind of believe in energy and know that energy is real, I do really still recommend listening to this podcast, because I think it'll kind of open your eyes with like a lot of things that you're already doing in life, that even though you think you are doing good, you're probably not. And that there are probably still things that you can do better. And you should always have that outlook on life in general, is that there are always things that you can always do better. And you should never be happy with just being at where you are, because there's always things to learn and grow about yourself. And so that's kind of where I'm at with myself, just trying to learn more and trying to embrace my fears, because in all honesty, like fear isn't real. Fear is just your brain trying to stop you from doing things, right? But like trying to overcome these fears is probably one of the biggest challenges, because the fear is in your subconscious mind, and you need to change your subconscious mind to be able to make these big changes in your life. And I think that's one of the hardest things, but even though it can be one of the most rewarding things, because if your body and your brain can automatically make you do things that you already want to do, there is no way you can't win, So yeah, like that's my goal right now, is trying to fix myself in terms of realizing the fears I have, why I fear them, and to face them, right? And I think that's going to be one of my biggest challenges right now. But I think once I face it, things are only going to get better, right? And yeah, like I'm all about it, having a more positive outlook on everything, and learning more about myself. So yeah, that's where we're at. A lot of thinking today, but yeah, just going to end that there for today's video. I do really highly recommend listening to Jim Fortin's podcast. It's really kind of changed my thinking about a lot of things. And even though I thought that I was pretty certain on thinking of, certain things and stuff like that, watching this podcast really changed my mind about a lot of things. So yeah, very interesting stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe you got something out of it. I hope you did. And I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.